Put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain we can't climb. Babe, I got you, babe. I got you, babe.
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties, because it's cold out there today.
It's cold out there every day. What is this, Miami Beach?
Podcasting from somewhere in Central Florida.
Where is the bloody rum?
I see you tried knifey spoony before.
Let's drink some rum.
Rum is the power, rum is the key, rum is the thing that will set us free. Rum, rum, rum,
And nerdy.
rum, rum, ahoy! Rum, rum, rum,
And nerdy.
Sit back, relax, remember to turn off your cell phones. For the next hour, let me be your Candy Crush.
Hey everybody, welcome to Rum and Nerdy. I'm Greg.
And I'm Garrick.
And this is episode 4.03, The Snow Cone.
It's really cold.
It's been a fucking blistering cold couple of weeks in the United States.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that whole Arctic vortex, death ray, whatever thing.
Jesus.
I think the high, because we were in Chicago last week, I believe the high there was 0 today.
Yeah, I believe it.
The high is 0.
I believe it.
Tomorrow's forecast, a high of 5.
Hey, did you know that Patrick Mahomes is undefeated in sub-zero temperatures?
That's a very interesting stat, Greg.
He's never lost a game that was under 0.
Huh.
That's fucked up.
That's interesting.
So we'll talk about that because we both had good.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on our next segment, Typhoon Tommy's NFL Roundup, because he hates the NFL. That's his biggest complaint about our shows when we talk about football.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, fuck you, Tom.
I want to try this rum.
Okay.
This was a Christmas gift for my dad.
For your dad or from your dad?
From my dad.
Okay.
My dad does a lot of international travel, and he always finds rums that he believes are interesting and or has never seen before, and this was one of them.
And he's still doing the international travel?
All the time.
I didn't, I don't think I was aware that he still travels.
My dad does more international traveling currently than I do.
Huh. Does he do more than I do?
I don't think anybody does more than you do.
That's
Without owning their own jet.
Well, no. It's not like I traveled that much. I know a lot of people travel more internationally than I do. I think I had, 3 trips to Europe last week? Last year? I think it was only 3. Might have been 4. But anyway, so we have Ron Varadero, and it's the Gran Reserva, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I don't have any narrative descriptions for this one.
The 15 year añejo?
Yeah, I couldn't find that many. Like, I found some reviews for the 15, but the Fat Rum Pirate talks about the Añejo 7, and it gives a little context into the rum maker. So Ron Varadero is Cuban rum brand, which is extremely popular in Spain. They have a number of different expressions, mostly at the younger end of the scale. They also have a 15 in the range, which is what we're trying today. As mentioned, Ron Varadero, it's very popular in Spain, where despite its age, is often taken with cola. Good thing we have one standing by. Yeah, so that just a little bit about that. So if we
Looks
go
like its history, its birth certificate,
right,
its Wikipedia page.
If we go over to rumratings.com, it has a solid 7.0 with 20 ratings, 8 of those 20 being a 7, and then it's 6 over a 7 and 6 reviews below, which is why that averages out. But, ooh, nice. The Mother of Rum is one of those, one of the best rums I've ever tapisted. I think that's supposed to be tasted. From the note to the explosion on your palate, this is an amazing rum.
I've tapisted a lot of rums.
You tapisted. There you go. Great rum, top rum. Bought it accidentally as I found a great offer. The bottle had 2 labels, one over the other. It seems Varadero 15 was named before Caribbean Club 15-year-old, so it seems I got an older bottle. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Context, buddy. Tell the whole story. Anyway, so here we go. Also, you know what? Also, if we go over to rumx.com, it has a 7.3 in the community rating there. 7.3. So either way, solid.
Interesting.
Here we go.
That's a very good
Nice.
nose.
Yeah, nice nose. Leather and tobacco. Star anise. Oh, that's smooth and sweet.
Really? I got a little bitter.
I don't have bitter. I've got a little burn going down now, but I definitely have a sweetness to it.
There's like it's like a sweet forward bitter after. It's almost like a cringy bitter that comes in with the burn on the back end.
That's the
The star anise?
no, I was going to say
Bison grass?
Yeah, sure, the bison grass. I was going to say that was the Malort still in your palate from last year.
It might
or last
be.
week.
It might be. Oh my god. I'm going to put a cube in mine.
You're going to put a Cuban
A Cuban in my Cuban?
in your Cuban?
It's 1 cube.
1 cube and 1 cube only. I don't know what the fuck I was trying with that.
Hunt for Red October. 1 cube per Shelley.
That with the cube, it brings out a little bit of that bitter. Interesting.
Yeah. Ooh. Ah. So, whatever. Yeah.
Bitter neat.
The bitter that I was getting when it was neat, you're right, amplified by the cube. It's a weird bitter.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that.
I think it was better neat than with the cube.
You might be right. But since I've gone this far down the hatch, I'm going to put a Coke in it.
Do it.
For science.
There you are. You have fully the Coke. Jeez, you really nailing the sounds today. Let me see that Coke, please, and thank you.
There you go. You know what? Just because the Coke is Coke. 2 more cubes. Okay. This is
There you go.
This is a Cuba Libre.
That makes sense. That's high quality. I like it.
This is a fantastic rum and Coke.
It is.
Yeah, it's like they said. It feels wrong putting Coke in a 15-year rum, but
Makes sense once you have it.
I get it. This is a really good rum and Coke.
Yeah.
Okay.
I look at a lot.
Well, I'm gonna have to have my dad try this. He's a big rum and Coke guy, so he will enjoy it.
Not that I have a lime, but what do you think? Lime? I think it could use a little fruit.
I think, yes, I think a lime would do it well. I think
Knock the scurvy off of it.
Knock the scurvy. Ugh. Okay, well, do you want to jump back into Typhoon Tommy's NFL weekly wrap-up?
Yeah, okay. Since he hates it, we'll blame it on him. Yeah, well, let's start with...
He hates it so much that I want to have Demo Dave record an intro for that.
Well, it's almost where we won't even need it because the season's very nearly over.
But we can look forward to you doing it next year.
Oh, absolutely.
In fact, periodically throughout the year, just to piss off Tommy, we could review like historic games.
Or we did do like the
Super Bowl 1. We could do Super Bowl 1 recap.
draft report.
Draft report. I don't.
Yeah, we talk about like when they do the NFL draft. We can talk about that.
I don't even care about the draft.
I'm just saying it gives us football stuff to talk about throughout the year. If we're going to make an intro, we got to use it.
You and I could play Madden and then just talk about the Madden game that we played.
Tecmo Bowl.
Techno Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's start with you because like it was funny going to the game. Like a lot of the sports commentators, they had called Kansas City. Most of them had said Kansas City. 1 or 2. Then like when they go through the whole team before the game, I think 1 or 2 of them said Miami. But every one of them for the Chiefs game were like, yeah, it's going to be really close. It's going to be really close. But on your game, you weren't supposed to.
We were not supposed to win that game at all. Like there was nothing no one, like all of the commentators ahead of time were like, oh yeah, Dallas, like Green Bay is going to get their participation trophy and go home. Like they just, yeah, we get it. They're here, but not really. There was a moment in the fourth quarter of that game, the fourth quarter. I took a picture of it on my TV to send to people because I'm like, I can't believe this is the current situation of what's going on. Fourth quarter of the game, 48-16.
Yeah. They took Jordan Love out of the game.
They did.
And then, of course, they scored a couple, and they're like, well, let's put fucking Jordan back in.
Yeah, we should probably put him back in. Yeah.
But
yeah,
that's like gangster.
The final score was 48-32, and the actual game wasn't that close. It wasn't that close at all. And
No.
there was a
It was at the end. The Green Bay was just like, oh, fuck it, just let them have some fun.
Yeah.
It's
dude, we got to save ourselves for the 49ers. Like that's absolutely what they were doing. There was one play where they were fourth and goal on the 1 yard line, and our coach is like, no, fuck it, we're going for it. We're gonna put as many nails in this coffin as we can.
Yeah,
and boom, ran it in. So fun stats out of that game. One, the Packers are the youngest team in recorded history, and I say recorded history because we only started tracking that garbage like in the 70s. So the youngest team in recorded NFL history to make the playoffs, the youngest team in NFL recorded history to win a playoff game. They're the first 7th seed team to ever win a playoff game. That's not a very important stat because the 7th seed has only existed since like 2020, but hey, we're still the first. And the Packers currently have won more postseason wins at AT&T Stadium than the Cowboys do.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, their last Super Bowl was won there, so one of the games they won, the Cowboys weren't in.
Oh, that's funny. So, you everything's settled, so you play the 49ers next. How do you think they're going to do?
I think we're going to lose.
Yeah?
Like not even
spectacularly, or you think they're going to put up a fight?
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. It's the NFL. Any team can do anything to any team. I think one of the biggest reasons why the Packers humiliated the Cowboys is they didn't prepare. I think the Cowboys won their division, did they?
Yeah.
So they're kind of walking in like, we're playing this crappy 7th seed team. All of the Vegas odds are on us. Like, whatever, we got to get through. Get through the Packers, and then we'll see who we're playing next. That's kind of the attitude that they took into that game. Packers are hungry. They work their ass off. They haven't been
in the pros long enough to know that they weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it really just boiled down to which team was more hungry, and the Packers did it. So anything's possible, but I do not have high hopes.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, we won the Super Bowl last week at AT&T Stadium with that win because it was amazing.
It was pretty spectacular. At one point, it looked really, really good that it was going to be a first half shutout.
Mm-hmm.
And not like hey, we have a touchdown and you don't. It was
27-0.
Yeah.
It was almost 27-0 going in the halftime, and I can't remember if they got a touchdown or a field goal, but it was a
touchdown.
It was the largest halftime deficit the Cowboys have ever had, something like that. And there was another. There's a handful of other embarrassing Cowboy stats in there.
Well, one of the other things that I heard them talk about before the game was that the Cowboys this season had the most first half points from any other team.
Yep.
So when you get into halftime and you halfway through the game you've got one touchdown and you're being beat by 20 points, you've got to kind of have a come to Jesus.
Yeah.
At some point you're like, we should start playing.
Well, and going into the game, I thought it was going to be, I thought the over under was going to be like 100. I mean, it was just those two teams. I thought they're no defenses. That it's going to be an offensive battle the whole way.
Yeah. And
turns out, our defense showed up. They decided to start playing. We were screaming for our defensive coordinator to be fired. Up until last week. I mean, there's been some drama surrounding our defense, and whatever, they clicked. And holy crap, did they click! We had a pick six. I can't tell you the last time we had a pick six.
It was a beautiful pick six too. Yeah, there was some really amazing plays in that.
The highlight reel is gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely one to. We were glad we watched. And speaking of watching and how sometimes it's difficult to watch a game, what the fuck was up with the NFL saying that the Chiefs Miami game had to be on a fucking streaming service?
That is the biggest Illuminati middle finger to the NFL fans that I have ever seen happen. I was blown away. And you know what? And the other thing, just the cherry on the top of that particular fuck you cake, is that, we have NFL Sunday Ticket. And do you want to know what historic game was broadcast at that time?
What's that?
Chiefs Miami from 2016 or whatever. It was an older Chiefs Miami game.
How many people watch that and were like, this isn't right? Where's Mahomes?
My parents were one. They're like, this isn't. I don't think this is right. Is this the right game?
Yeah.
Why is it sunny? I don't.
Yeah, I heard it was cold. So, interesting fact: 23 million people tuned in to that game. 23 million people. It's the largest live streamed event in U.S. history, and it's also the nation's biggest night on the internet ever.
Really?
Yeah. The data streaming from that. This is
because
according
people
to
were pirating
Comcast.
because people were pirating it from
other
sources
just because of the people getting the app. Now, Peacock, they did it a smart way. They're like, okay, we're gonna do do this. It's gonna piss you off, but if you sign up now and pay for the entire year, we're gonna knock the subscription 50% off. You get $30 for Peacock the whole year.
Okay.
And I went and looked, and there's we were like, let's fucking just go to the bar, or let's go do this, and it's $30. And I was looking at it, I'm like, there's a lot of shows on here we might actually watch. So we went ahead and did it for $30, but still, $30 times 23 million people.
That's kind of a thing. Well, okay, yeah.
Some already had it, and there's a lot of people that like a room full of people with one account. But either way, good play good on them, I guess. But a lot of people pissed off at it.
Yeah. It was a great way to turn off the fans.
Yeah. Which brought up the conversation. It's like, how many more years now do we have until the Super Bowl's just straight pay-per-view?
I don't think that will ever happen.
Really?
And you know why?
Ads?
Super Bowl commercials. There is so much money in Super Bowl commercials and halftime show and all that stuff that they will not put that behind a paywall.
Unless people are paying and watching the ads.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some quantity of monies associated with it, but you're not. If they put the Super Bowl behind a paywall, you're not going to be able to charge those ridiculous rates for the ads.
I don't know. You see some of this shit, and they just do pop-ups around the perimeter, and
oh god, the scrolls.
Yeah.
It's
fuck all that noise. Fuck it in the ear. Anyway, do
you remember Idiocracy when they were watching TV?
Yeah.
The whole thing was just banners and scrolls at the different pop-up windows.
Yeah.
It was just sitting in front of a giant TV with just garbage on it. Yeah.
So, fun fact, Mahomes has never, he is undefeated in games he's played that were under 0 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Which was just the one. I think they said it was the second or third coldest NFL game in history.
You know what the first is?
The ice bowl.
Packers Cowboys.
Yeah, which they talked about during that game. But
my dad was at that game.
That miserable. I could imagine, because it was at one point it was -7 with the wind chill of negative 29 degrees.
Yeah, ice bowl I thought was like -40.
Unbelievable. That's just stupid.
My dad, they were giving away tickets on the radio station because no one wanted to go to the game.
Yeah.
So one of the local Green Bay radio stations is like, swing by the studio. I have a stack of tickets. Just come get them.
Yeah.
And my dad and his idiot college buddies were like, we're going to the game. You see him out there in like just like a hunting hat and like a letter jacket from high school. Like it's just like, what the hell are you people doing?
Yeah. Unfucking believable. adrenaline and alcohol feeding that. But it's kind of funny. It got so cold that Patrick Mahomes' helmet, it didn't crack. It shattered.
It shattered, yeah. The whole front kind of busted off. Now, did he get a new one after that play? Or?
Yeah, well, he kept playing, and it was like they did another play or two, and then the reps came up and said, like, you have to change your helmet. And apparently normally they would have to take Mahomes out to do that. But Edwards-Helaire ran when they were doing a position change, and Edwards-Helaire brought another one in, and he popped it on. But it was weird because it didn't fit right. The other one had been on a warmer. This one was cold.
Yeah.
It didn't have the communications in it yet.
The radio, yeah.
So and then the Chiefs were down like, in the red zone when this all happened. The interesting thing about that, though, is when it shattered, there's some really, really good pictures of it shattering. And I'm going to show you one of them.
Okay.
Because, hold on, let me pull this up. Because I'm going to do this in a very, very specific way. Okay.
Should I be worried?
No. Oh, crap.
This is riveting.
So you see that?
Yeah.
That big chunk out of it?
Yeah.
Here's another view of that. What does that look like?
What?
That is the crack laid over dead trees.
That's the actual crack?
The crack looks like a reaper.
It looks like the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay. Well, that's
creepy.
Weird. That's weird.
Yeah. There it is while it's being broken.
Wow.
Yeah. The crack looks like, so, we should post that or something. I'll send you those.
Yeah, send those to me. I'll get them out there.
But yeah, it cracked like the Grim Reaper. Now, famously, a past playoff game, Kansas City was down. They had I think they were playing Cincinnati, I think. But they had 13. They'd gotten the ball back on 13 seconds, and in 13 seconds they scored. And after the game, they were asking Mahomes, "Is like, so we saw Coach Reed talking to you right before you went out and went on for that drive. What did he say to you?" And he said, he looked at me and says, "Kid, when things look grim, be the Grim Reaper." So for Chiefs fans to see the Reaper show up on his helmet on a game that he almost ran a touchdown on that play, and they just dominated. They dominated Miami.
Has there been any follow-up as to? I mean, I'm assuming it cracked because the helmet. Are those helmets carbon fiber? I don't know I haven't read what they're made out of, but they just were never tested in that cold of a temperature. Yeah. So I mean, I guarantee you that this is it's going to be an exercise in material science where they're going to go back and say like, "Ooh, we need to check the specs on the resin or the
next year this won't happen." Or the
whatever. Yeah. I mean, it can't be carbon. Carbon fiber doesn't.
Carbon fiber shouldn't shatter.
Not like that. No.
No.
But I also don't know if those are carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is very strong in its designed direction. Mm-hmm. As soon as you fuck with it in a manner other than it's designed to do, it shatters.
Interesting. Right away. So
I got to imagine something like a football helmet. They wouldn't, but I don't know. We'll look into that. Yeah, it's interesting how that happened, but we'll report back to the listeners. Yeah. Here's a tutorial on material science. That's exactly what you wanted to listen to. Yeah. Well, again, your game, you guys clearly dominated Dallas. Our game going into it, where everybody thought it was going to be close, 26-7. Yeah. Absolutely obliterated them. Number 2 defense. Now, again, keep in mind, all year long, Miami only beat one team with a winning record. Yeah. They had just a disgustingly easy schedule this year. And again, it's like, when you set the schedule,
there were a lot of teams that were supposed to be better than they were that weren't. I mean, look at the Eagles fucking fell apart.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. They fell apart like Dallas did.
Yeah. And barely made it into the playoffs, and then, of course, got taken out by Green Bay, or Tampa Bay. So
One of the Bays.
Yeah, one of the Bays. One of the Bays beat him. But Jason Kelsey retired. He announced today he's retiring.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. He's like 13 seasons. He's done. Wow. Consequently, because there's been a lot of speculation, is Travis Kelsey going to retire now that he's got all that Swiftie money?
He hasn't put a ring on it yet.
No, I know. I'm just joking around. But he said mid to late last week, he said it's not even in his vocabulary right now. He's not thinking about it. He's having a lot of fun, and when it stops being fun, he will stop playing.
Do you know one of my least favorite statistics that has come out of this past weekend?
What's that?
John F. Kennedy has now missed 2 Lions postseason wins. He only missed one of them up until last weekend. So it's like, damn it. Yeah. Detroit, why did you win? Why'd you win the division?
You're killing that joke, man.
Oh, they already killed my other favorite statistic, which was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won our division more recently than the Lions did.
Jeez.
They're not in our division. That's why it's such an awesome stat.
Yeah. Now, I heard somebody talking last week that it is time to shuffle up those, and because teams have moved and done different things, and like, a lot of people are saying it's time to shift up those divisions.
I don't know, man.
The other thing is it time to add more teams?
I don't know. Well, one, can the market support it?
Yeah, and if realistically, do you add 8 teams, or do you just have some divisions?
When was the last time we had an expansion, like a major league expansion? Was that 60?
No, I feel like it was more recently than that. Hold on.
Like when the Jaguars show up. Because I know like the Cowboys and the Vikings, they were all part of the 1960 expansion. And then, I think maybe the Jags.
2002. Last expansion team was the Houston Texans in 2002. And the last time the league expansion was 2 teams with the Carolina Panthers and Jacksonville Jaguars in 1995. While the league hasn't added an expansion team in 21 years, the NFL added 4 expansion teams from 95 to 2002 to get to the current 32-team format.
Yeah, so I mean, it's almost like if you want to add a team, you got to add more teams in order to keep the format happy. Because right now we are it's late. Right now we are at a really nice zen balance with the quantity of teams.
4 divisions, 4 teams per division.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense, and it's really easy.
Yeah.
So
do you add teams and go with like create a 5th division, which just doesn't make any sense, or do you go to 5 teams per division, or do you just let some like you know what? You guys have the Raiders, so that they don't count, so you get an extra team.
Sorry, Dave.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. How do you go there? How do you go there?
I don't know.
We will have to see. Okay, we're probably boring Tommy. So maybe we'll transition into something else.
Okay, so I'm watching all of the John Wick movies. It's kind of a goal I have for this week. Like, you know what? They're on Netflix. I'm gonna watch all the John Wick movies.
All 4 of them.
Yeah. It's like both times 2. And something that occurred to me watching the first John Wick earlier today.
Yeah, what's that?
What is the average cost of a henchman? Like, how many armed henchmen do you need to work like a nightclub or something? Because he kills a lot of henchmen. Yeah. So I got to imagine the overhead cost for organized crime has got to be incredible. Because, I mean, are those guys like 1099? Do they get a 401k? Like,
I think they're paid under the table.
I don't know what the average henchman makes, but I know if you have a warehouse that just has, 20 armed guys pacing all day long, like that's an insane overhead cost. It's got to be some kind of a billable rate associated with it. I don't know. Do you think they have to fill out a timesheet? Like, what about the nightclub henchman? I got to imagine if you're working at a nightclub as a henchman, you got to be part of some kind of a compensation package. I don't know.
Okay, so apparently the internet has this. Job title. Nosto Solutions Henchman Salaries. One salary reported $70,680 a year.
That's it?
Yeah. Well,
Like
that's
70
just for Nosto Solutions. Umbrella Corporation Henchman, $72,175.
Okay.
Madison Polymeric Engineering Henchman, $32 an hour. And then Trenches Law Henchman salaries, $68,333.
68. I mean, these all feel relatively the same. I mean, I wonder if henchmen. I mean, is there a union? You got to be part of a union.
I don't know. I think that the gang is the union. So there's probably other perks. Like meals are. Meals are paid. You're always out.
Really, they're
hanging
going
out.
to pay your meals as a henchman.
I think they're going to pay your meals and your drinking.
Now, do they supply the
Spend-
guns?
Yeah.
They supply the guns. Now, do you got to buy your own ammo?
No.
What if you want a holder?
Worst case, it's kind of like a carpenter where the I in my mind, maybe they own their own gun because a carpenter shows up to a job site without a hammer or a screw gun. They're a joke. You
got to bring your own tools to the job. Yeah. So I imagine you're bringing. So I'm imagining your average henchman is showing up to a job with his own weaponry.
Yeah.
I think bullets should be paid for by the employer.
I would imagine that they are. There's probably just a closet with a lot of different kinds of bullets.
And you just take some out of the closet.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to submit receipts.
No, I think they probably just buy that in bulk and write it off. I would imagine that, if you have a really good Bowie knife that you bought that, but if you have throwing knives, that would also be covered.
Throwing knives. Okay. The kind of throwing knives do you take back, or is it like Chinese stars? Because sometimes you see like a and they get stuck in the side of a truck or something, or
you get the belt that holds like 3 or 4 of them.
It lands in like the hero's arm, and then the hero runs away and is like, "Hey, that guy just ran off with my Chinese star."
That's why I think they're like, we'll reimburse you for those if you need them. Again, there's just a box of them.
Go to the supply closet, get more stars.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, they're next to the pencils.
Yeah. It feels like something that could happen. I'm surprised at that. I mean, I guess I'm not surprised. I mean, honestly, walking into this conversation, I had no idea what I thought a henchman made.
Yeah.
But cannon fodder for the hero in somebody else's story. I mean, seriously, henchmen are like the NPC bad guys of movies.
In Google, some supplementary questions.
Supplementary questions.
What does a henchman do? A henchman, vernacular hencher, is a loyal employee, supporter, or aide to some powerful figure engaged in nefarious or criminal enterprises. Henchmen are typically relatively unimportant in the organizer's minions whose value lies primarily in their unquestioning loyalty to their leaders. So,
is it unquestioning loyalty to the leader, or are they just getting paid?
Yeah, I think it's.
Hey man, I got this gig over at Evil Corp, and they want me to work the spotlight. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, when you're like, okay, I can get 10 henchmen for $700,000. And get another couple, so about $1 million. Maybe get a group rate on some. One of them is just like the dumb brother of one of them. Yeah, we probably gonna get in and around like 14 for $1 million a year. And then
do you think if henchmen were unionized, and like one boss's henchman went on strike, and then they had like scabs, crossing the line, do you think like the other henchman local 405, like they go down there and picket, or they put like the big rat in front of the headquarters? Like, get away from my volcanic lair with your scab rat. Like, I don't.
Yeah, it could happen. I just honestly, I don't think henchmen. Reading these descriptions, it sounds like they're like the general labor. They're like in the stagehand world. They're the ones that just load the truck.
Yeah.
but they're loading the truck for a band they really want to be able to hang out and see. So they're working for, booze, a crew T-shirt, and some cigarettes.
So you don't. So in addition to their $70,000 a year salary, do you think they get medical?
No.
You wouldn't put them on medical. Dental?
No, I don't think that they get any benefit.
What if we were one of those highfalutin nightclub henchmen?
Well, I don't think that I think that transcends henchmen, and then you're
just like armed security at that point.
Yeah, like if you're like security.
So what delineates henchmen from armed security? Is it the suit? Like, yeah, you're wearing a sweatsuit that just puts you in henchman status, but we're gonna make you wear a black suit with a nice red shirt. So now you're just armed security.
Asking Google again.
Yeah.
New segment. Ask Google.
Ask Google.
A henchman's job is to do your dirty work. A bodyguard's job is to protect you from attempts to harm. Does the activity of a bodyguard have a name, i.e. bodyguarding or something protection? Most would rather use the terms protective services. Henchmen are they're the minions.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay, now what about the guys that come up and clean up afterwards? The cleaning services people.
Oh.
That wrap the bodies in cellophane and take them away.
Well, they work for I don't know, what was it, like a small stack of coins?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a small stack of coins, but it was Sunshine Cleaning Company or something like that.
Well, here's this.
Or Secret Cleaners. I don't know. They had a fun name. What, you can look that up on the internet now?
In John Wick.
Yeah. What is the name
value of a coin?
Oh, wasn't it like $500,000?
Wow. Well, the coins that accompany John Wick's various hidden weapons in the trunk don't have a fixed cash value. John is stashing well over $980,000 of hard currency, assuming they're worth upwards of $2,000 each.
Because didn't they say that the bounty on his head was worth $2 million, and that equated to 4 coins?
I don't recall that. This is saying that it's somewhere between $2,000 and $5,000.
Interesting.
So what do they mean? Yeah, I don't know. Why does everything cost 1 coin in John Wick?
Because 2 coins would be obscene.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, it's it'll be fun to report on my John Wick watching for the first time, but
you haven't watched them before?
No. It was one of the things where it's like it was on my list, and then like the sequel came out, and I'm like, well, I gotta watch the first one, then I'll watch the second one, so I'll get to it, and then like, but the third one's on its way. I'm like, well, then I'll just wait for that. And then I got busy and something happened. And now there's like 12 of them. So
there's 4 of them, but there is also a spin-off TV show called The Continental, which is on Peacock. Thank you.
The Continental. Isn't it called The International? Or is I
thought it was Continental.
The hotel's The International.
I think it's Continental.
The Continental was that Christopher Walken character from Saturday Night Live. Where he wore that creepy robe. I think it might have been the cowbell episode.
The Continental is the hotel.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, what did I think was? Oh, yeah.
The new Peacock limited series is a prequel to explore the origins of the famed Continental Hotel in John Wick and other assassins stay in. Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
And then there's another spin-off movie that is, I want to say, called Ballerina, which is about a character that was introduced in the last one.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
That's a great way to expand that franchise.
Yeah.
It was a lot of gratuitous fun.
Oh, absolutely.
It was a fun world to get into, and it was fun watching the characters interact, and it was fun watching the known history evolve.
Mm-hmm.
As the movie went forward. Like, wait, you did what? To who? Are you stupid?
Oh,
that
yeah,
kind of thing
that phone call from the Russian to John Leguizamo.
I understand you slapped my son.
It's like, yeah. Why did you do that? Well, because he
stole John Wick's
sir,
car.
and he killed his dog.
And he kills her.
Oh.
It just hangs up the phone. It's like, son of a...
Yeah, it's like, oh, my son's dead.
This is going to be very bad.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, good fucking series of movies.
Yeah. Anyway, so...
You know, so that's what you're streaming?
That's what I'm streaming. I haven't... Fargo is... God, last episode is about to air? Second to last? We're on the hinge of what this current season of Fargo ending. And I
watched most of the Kansas City episodes.
It's been interesting, yeah. The Kansas City ones are cool because that's kind of the whole Pendergast era.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's
a little after.
It's after, but still
not much after. But
not much after. Yeah.
Yeah. Still watching Reacher season 2, which is really freaking good, and watching Percy Jackson on Disney, and then Sandy and I are almost completely caught up. We're like 2 episodes left for What We Do in the Shadows, and you don't watch that, right?
No, but I need to. My sister and brother-in-law have been telling me for years to watch that show.
Dude,
I know.
It is.
I know.
Really great.
I know.
Yeah, and it just keeps getting more and more stupid.
And it's lovely.
And the cameos, just these weird fucking cameos, you know, like Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes plays himself as, you know, and it's just like there's this vampiric council, and he like zooms into it. He's like, oh yeah. He goes, wait, Wesley Snipes is it? It's like, yeah, you know, it's like when I was out doing all the research for it, I fucking actually met a vampire and he bit me, and it was just like, and then I'm trying to remember the other guy from Blade that got his hand cut off.
Stephen Dorff.
No, that it was like one of Stephen Dorff's lieutenants. The guy was
henchman?
also
There was a henchman.
Yeah. Well, no, he was more of like he was his like right hand. Then he lost his. But he was also in the show Gotham. Anyway, forgot the actor. So he is like
we're good at this.
He plays his himself in that too, and he's just like, I don't know, you know, I was in the Blade movies and everything, and I just dug the lifestyle. So I'm like, I went out and like found a vampire to turn me, and it's been great, you know. And then because the whole thing happens as if it's this team doing a documentary on them, you know, and that guy saying, goes, yeah, being on set's fun. He's like, you know, you got all these different crews, like key grip, like you're the key grip, right? And he's looking at you're the key, like, and then that makes you the best boy. You're the camera guy, right? So I don't know how the documentaries work, but you know, on my one of my show, oh shit, I had an audition tonight. I got to do a tape. Can you guys help me do? I can just send in a tape for this reading I'm doing, and there's just so many actors that
is awesome.
Just kind of play themselves.
That's great.
You know, and then all these like Tika Waititi, Taika Waititi.
Yeah, Taika Waititi.
There you go.
Did you say Tiki Watsala?
I said something Marsala. Yeah, like
isn't that a
veal Marsala?
I was about to say that's like an Olive Garden dish. Yeah. I don't know what you're.
Anyway, he actually directs some of them, and
does he?
Yeah, he plays a guy on the Vampiric Council, and
he doesn't bring unlimited breadsticks.
No, that's actually kind of dumb. Can't land them all. Anyway, there's a baby. And like, oh, you're so cute. What are you, like 5 months old? And goes, he's 90. Some asshole turned him when he was 5 months old. He's a 90-year-old baby. Who fucking does that?
Was he still just a baby? Like a baby? Like you're a baby forever?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. The oldest vampire in that like kind of little enclave is this guy named Nandor, and Nandor is just like he'll fuck up. He fucks up all the time, and just like let people know that he's a vampire, and then he'd be like, "Oh shit," and he would hypnotize them. So there's a whole episode about the fact that a water main broke on their street, and he's out talking to the news crew, And she's like, how long have you lived here? Oh, centuries. And he's like, no, I'm not a vampire. Fuck. Oh, I fucked up. And he runs off. And then eventually they break into, like they capture the reporter and take her back to the news station, and so he can hypnotize everybody, including the viewers. There's all you viewers at home. You are now hypnotized. And the other one with him's like, great. Now what do we do with the ones that just started watching? Wing it. So, this weekend, weather should be clearing up enough for the dog parade at the park. Hey, oh yeah, that's gonna be wonderful. Let's switch to weather. Hey, and they've got this other, and he forgot he was wearing a green sweater the whole episode. So the green screen is just his body. It's just disappeared. It's just, and they finished the episode doing the thing. And so now over to him for sports, and he's like, yeah. They just finished the freaking broadcast, and it's so dumb.
That's awesome.
But it's, you gotta watch it.
Who was the one I saw, like a clip on a reel or something, where it was one of the guys? It wasn't a time vampire. He was a
energy vampire.
Yeah,
and Colin.
He was getting in fights with people on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever he was feeding, his eyes would go blue. But he can go out during the day and get a regular job, and at one point he is suckered into running for the comptroller for their city, their township, or whatever.
Yeah,
and so the energy vampire council kidnap him. And they're like, you don't understand. You have to, because his opponent's like, we're going to modernize this and put it all on computers and everything else. And they kidnap him. Like, you don't understand. You have to win this election. Politics is the life of energy vampires. Like, we suck just the energy out of everything.
Yeah.
And if they modernize this, the bureaucracy that she's going to get rid of will destroy our kind forever. And
so he's running for comptroller.
Yeah. God. Yeah, but it's like his whole shtick is he's got to be as boring as possible. So he's like one of those, like somebody will say, like, I propose a toast. The word toast came from Germany back in, just like.
He's the guy, he played, that's the guy that played Nate from The Office. The guy that Dwight hired to be like their the handyman around the office building. Which he did a hilarious job of. Yeah, and then I could tell you more. That show is just so fucking great. It's to all the listeners. That's when Hey Scott, that's the next one for you two to watch.
Yeah.
What we do in the shadows?
What we do in the shadows. It's on Hulu.
That's why I haven't watched it. 5 seasons. Damn it.
And it's 5 seasons in. And it's not done yet.
Well, I'll wait to see if the Super Bowl is on Peacock, because otherwise maybe I'll bust out that Hulu money.
Yeah,
don't they have some kind of a gig with Disney Plus? Like you can buy Disney Plus and Hulu together for an extra 70 cents or something.
It's like $2.99, but it's worth it because Archer's on Hulu too, I think.
Yeah, but I have all of Archer. Because I just it's on YouTube TV and FXX airs them all.
Noise.
Yeah.
Noise. So, what else? I mean,
I don't know. It's been a week.
It has. It's like the travel and everything else. Got a couple of weeks for some more travel before it comes up.
It catches up to you. It catches up to you. And it's cold. It's supposed to get cold here tomorrow. And by cold, I mean Florida cold. Like, it's going to get down in the...
Like 60s? Or 50s? Or probably not 50s.
No, like the 30s. Like, it's like freeze warning cold, I believe.
Golly.
I believe.
And you got a race coming up, too. Right?
I do. I take it back. Tomorrow, tonight it's going to get down to 42. Hey, look at that, 42. Yes, there is the PBOC Winterfest at Sebring on... Well, as of the date of this airing, it would have been yesterday. So, wish you were there. But it's on what 18th? The 18th? 18th.
Yeah,
18th of January. 2024. But the PBOC Winterfest is a big car thing. They have a whole bunch of different run groups. So there's a whole bunch of different cars that are doing time trials and time attack and other just DE type stuff. But they do a genuine 6-hour endurance race that starts at 3 in the afternoon and goes till 9. So you get daytime running.
Gesertenblatt.
Yeah, well, you did daytime running, nighttime running, and then sunset running, which is the whole list of driver challenges that are fun to deal with.
Gotcha.
Last time we won our class, so we ended up at the winner's circle at the end of the race, and the other 2 cars in the winner's circle were like these brand new Porsche Cup GT3, just beautiful, GT race cars, like brand new, amazing race cars, slick tires, the whole 9. And then we pulled in a 95 Mustang with street tires on it because we have to run street tires in the series that we run in. We just brought our street car or the car from our series. We just brought it and entered it and see where it went. Freaking hilarious, the pictures that people were taking. What the hell are you guys doing here? Like, we won.
That's hilarious.
That's hilarious. I try. We put effort into it.
I wish I wasn't so busy at work because I would love to come down. I enjoyed the time.
We have Wi-Fi this week.
Oh, so work from there. Yeah, that's a bad week for that.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, and then there's like hotels and everything else.
Sure.
Not a work trip.
No.
Anyway, I think that's about it,
Yeah, I say we call it. It's surprisingly late, and I'm surprisingly tired.
I don't think that's a surprise at all. Anyway, I start out as we usually do. Thank you, Dave Martin.
DemoDavePro.com.
Yeah, we love you, buddy. We got to get you on the show. We all got to be in the same place at the same time soon.
That would be really awesome.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. Don't forget to check us on our website, rumandnerdy.com, and that's rumandnerdy.com.
Social medias, we are also at rumandnerdy, also AND.
And you can email us at our URL. It's show@rumandnerdy.com.
If you don't have like your own domain.com, are you even trying?
Right?
You ever see people like with a business and they're like, oh yeah, I'm like superstar blah, 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 at gmail.com. What?
I've got so many companies email me and they're like, yeah, we do, takeoffs for estimating and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's like their company is company name at Gmail. It's like,
yeah. Or like .biz. I mean, come on, try.
Yeah. Anyway, all that, reach out to us. We're still accepting, and we will be accepting lists for the rest of the year. We have a list of lists, and probably next week we'll probably start.
Yeah, we have a pretty good list. So as soon as we're done with the list, right? No, the list will never done. The list will always have lists added to the list, but we'll start listing our lists next week during our list segment.
Maybe we'll do a list episode where we talk about the lists. It's probably not. That sounds boring.
That sounds like the worst meta flashback thing ever.
Yeah.
No. We're gonna read all of the script notes. Oh God, no. No. Negative.
Okay. Well, anyway, with all that said, we love you and keep listening, and we will talk to you in about a week.
Stay nerdy, my friends.
People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down. When you're strange, faces come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange, when you're strange, when you're strange. People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down.
skin is pale white, you dress fashionably, and you abstain from sex. I know what you are.
Say it. Out loud. Say it.
Jonas, brother.
That's right.